Welcome back. Thank you very much for staying with us. Now, Media Monitoring Africa has filed urgent papers in the Constitutional Court. That's over President Cyril Ramaphosa's failure to appoint a new SABC board. It has been 5 months since the term of the last board lapsed. The non-profit organization says the president's inaction violates his constitutional obligation to act diligently. Let's chat now to Media Monitoring Africa's Azola Dayile. Azola, good morning and thank you very much for your time. So you've brought your matter on an urgent basis. Just talk to us about this legal step that you've resolved to take now.
Good day, ma'am, and thank you for having me on your show. So after so much requests, engagements, and letters corresponding with the president to appoint the board at the SABC, we then were left with no other avenue but to approach the courts, particularly the Constitutional Court, to say that can the court then direct the president to, without any further delay, appoint the 12 non-executive members of the board.
Before we get or delve deeper into the communication and some of the reasons furnished to you as an organization by the president, can we just start with the choice of the court? It's the court of last instance. You didn't feel it appropriate to perhaps go to a more lower court first?
Definitely, we did deliberate on those particular issues, but then we decided to go on to the Constitutional Court because Section 167, point number 4 of the Constitution says that it is only the Crown Court, actually, only the Constitutional Court that can decide whether the president has indeed failed to fulfill a constitutional obligation. So we're basically guided by the Constitution itself in our choice of choosing the Constitutional Court. But on top of that, I mean, the matter itself is quite a weighty matter. It is a matter of public and national importance, and therefore I think the Crown Court is the most appropriate court, regardless of it being, you know, the court of last instance.
Then the communique or exchanges between yourselves and the president, what were the reasons furnished? Because the last we remember was that the president had sought a legal opinion and was trying to establish whether the process that was taken in selecting or putting together the names was the correct one. Can you just perhaps give us clarity around that response, or perhaps you were given even more information about what is the delay about?
At the core of the matter was some questionable names that were given to the president as part of the 12 non-executive board members. So that's basically the core reasoning that we got from our correspondence with the presidency. It was to say that, look, we received these names from the National Assembly. We are having a review because there were some objections, I think, to either 2 or 3 of the names that the president was given. Which then begs the question of how would then the National Assembly, in its proper and functioning abilities, suggest names that to the president that are themselves questionable. And in fact, we argue further that even though that might be the case, which is fine, even though there might be some names that are questionable, it does not mean that the entire process must then be delayed. I mean, it's of urgent importance, it's of major importance and urgency that a board is appointed expeditiously at the SABC, and then the president can then take, or any other party for that matter that has issues with particular names that given to the president, to take it on legal review after the fact of he has appointed a board, because the SABC does need a board. It's been without a board for almost half a year now. We are about to go into a new financial year. We are going towards an election year, and the criticality and independence of a board at the SABC is of utmost importance at this point.
So if I'm getting you correctly, you're saying he must accept the recommendations and install that board, and then later on challenge those particular names that he finds to be questionable. Is that what you're saying? Or he must sort of implement the recommendations in part, take those that there are no issues with, and then challenge the other names?
The ball is completely in his court. The ball is completely in his court. All that we seek as a relief is that the president must appoint the names that he was given by the National Assembly. And I mean, the Broadcasting Act is also very much clear on this. Section 13.1 of the Broadcasting Act says that, on the advice of the National Assembly, the president must appoint the 12 non-executive board members. Therefore, he doesn't have space to maneuver. He doesn't have space to do anything other than to just rubber stamp the 12 names that is given by the National Assembly, because the National Assembly would have done the necessary processes of vetoing the people, checking that indeed they have the requisite experience, the requisite qualifications needed for an independent and well-functioning board at the SABC. And his job in this instance, the president, was to only, at least according to the Broadcasting Act, appoint the 12 non-executive members of the board.
But that is the one long-standing question you want settled, that the president can veto the names submitted. That is something that you want to get clarity on from the ConCourt. But are you in a position to reveal the names that the president has stated to yourselves that he found or his team found to be questionable?
I'm sorry, Mr. Swam. I don't think I'm in a position to actually reveal the names. And myself personally, I'm also not privy to the names.
Okay. But did you perhaps get, without disclosing the name, did you get a sense of what were the issues that the president was uncomfortable with insofar as those individuals are concerned? Was there criminal records?
Yes,
what exactly was it?
Yeah, so some of the issues, I think, around those issues. I think there is an issue around qualifications for one of the members. And then another is a matter of, what do you call this thing, a conflict of interest, if I can put it like that, because they currently serve as a special advisor to the Minister of Comms and Digital Technologies. So there are questions around conflict of interest, questions around criminal records, and questions around people's qualifications. Yes, definitely.
All right. We must certainly try to perhaps get the presidency to establish exactly where they are in that process, if the legal opinion has come, and what will be the president's decision. But thank you very much, Azola, for joining us today. That was Azola Dayile from Media Monitoring Africa.